morning. I'm on a little hike this morning and got the challenge of wind, which may or may not make this video even wind and snotty nose. Apparently wind is kind of picking up out here, so I'll see how this video comes out and whether or not it's too loud. I think it might be, but it's so pretty I can't help but be out here today and make a few videos while I'm here. So what I wanted to talk about this morning, there are a few different videos that I'm going to make, but the first one is going to be on how do you experience and how do you practice gratitude in the present moment if you're fortunate enough or skilled enough to be able to focus and realize that this moment right now is the important one, not the experiences of the past or the lessons you've learned or the hope or plans that you have for the future. So, and then also gratitude is it's a gift that you give yourself. Kind of takes away some of the stress or focus on what's going on in your life, and man, it's pretty out here. And so this is I'm just going to share with you something that I've done for many years now. And the way I came to this is my grandmother is or was rather, she just passed away. She was a journalism teacher, and I remember when I was getting ready to go to college as a young man, she said, I was still in high school at the time, and she said, you know, one of the things that they may ask you on a college entrance exam is, what is it that makes you you? And I always remembered that question. And then fast forward about 15 years later, and was going through a divorce and having Mexican food, and I got the napkin out and my pen, and I was going through a lot of stress at the time, and I started thinking about, like, well, you know, what are the things that actually make me, that define me, since I kind of lost my identity with the divorce. And this is what I came up with. Sorry, this is a little muddy on this trail right here, and then you can see where it is I'm heading. I'm trying not to slip. So anyway, what I came up with was something that I've had for like the last 15 years as my personal philosophy, and I call it press if happy. And I'm not a big mnemonic guy, but I do use m.e.n.d for move, educate, nourish, and decompress, because I think that those are the kind of the basics of what you need to do for health and wellness. But if you want to take a few steps further and kind of analyze what is it that really makes you you, and sorry about this wind if it's too loud. I use PRESSIF, so PRESSIF, and that is physical, relational, emotional, social, spiritual, intellectual, and financial. And one of the analogies that I use is, if you're a person that likes jelly bellies, jelly beans, gourmet jelly beans, you may like the tasty one. If all you like is one jelly bean, and you get a jar of these jelly beans, say for instance it's watermelon, and something happens to your watermelon jelly bean or jelly beans, then you don't have anything else to fall back on. So if you have a jar of jelly beans, you shouldn't have just a jar of watermelon, even though that might be your favorite. What you want is to have a jar of many, many different kinds of jelly beans. Some are going to be better than others. Some are going to be your favorite. You don't have to have any of the black licorice in there if you don't want. But basically diversify, and also recognize that there is diversity in your life, and there's multiple avenues of health and happiness, not just one. So for me, what I started doing is, I was in the middle of nursing school when I was going through this divorce, and I came up with this PRESSIF happy philosophy. So prior to eating any meal, just as though some people may pray before dinner, give acknowledgement before dinner, I would basically go through PRESSIF and consider all of the things that are going well in those areas, and then maybe even at night, if I was journaling, I would go through and consider what is it that I could do better in these areas that I have control over. So I'll give you an example of me going through the PRESSIF experience. So physically, I am 42. I am relatively healthy. I have a slight shoulder injury, but everything else in my body is functioning. I'm able to walk in these trails. I'm able to sleep moderately well. I'm able to get up and go to work all day long and work hard and play hard and ride bicycles and go snowboarding and all of these things. And for these things, I'm grateful. Relationally, I have a good relationship with my parents. I have a good relationship with my brothers, my aunts, my uncles, and even though I don't get to see all of these people on a regular basis, we communicate through email or telephone or Facebook, and even some of my extended family that I normally wouldn't have a relationship with, I do because of Facebook. And for this reason, I have Facebook. I have a lot of complaints about Facebook as a diversion and as a time waster, and not being a really accurate picture of life, but I do feel more connected to some of my family because of it, so I choose to have it. I don't have a primary relationship right now with a significant other, and even that's not a bad thing, because having no relationship is better than having an unsuccessful or unhealthy relationship. So I don't even look to the fact that right now I'm in transition and I'm single. I don't feel that that's a bad thing. I actually still have gratitude for that. So that's relationships. And when I say relationship, for me, that means my primary relationships, not my friendships. So that comes under social. So emotionally, I feel that I'm making good decisions. I feel like I have tools that I regularly implement on times of distress. For the most part, I don't have anxiety, I don't have worry, I don't have depression. You know, it ebbs and flows, and when I have depression, I actually consider it a tool or an indicator or a litmus test of there's something wrong and there's something I need to work on and something I need to acknowledge and figure out. So I no longer consider myself to be a depressed person. I consider depression just a season throughout my life or throughout a period of time, and I know that at some point that season's going to change and I'm going to find spring again. So that's kind of how I look at depression. So that was emotion. So social is when I'm basically referring to my friendships, and I have friends at the pool hall, I have friends at poker, I have friends at work, I have friends that I've had for a long time, I have a few good friends, and I have many acquaintances. If I want to be alone, I can be alone, and if I want to be with friends or acquaintances, I can choose to do that too. So I feel like I have many options there. spiritually. This right here, currently this and presence is my spirituality. Everybody's different. You may have a strong hold to your religion, which is a good thing. You may have a strong connect to the earth or to whatever it is your individual spirituality is, but it's definitely an important part of life to recognize and have gratitude towards. And then intellectually, right now I'm painting, I'm drawing, I'm journaling every night, I'm journaling throughout the day, I'm doing videos. I was actually in graduate school and I postponed it because I kind of felt like it was hindering my path of doing these things that I'm doing right now. And so I got into graduate school and then I postponed it, and I may or may not return to that journey at some point, and either of those things are fine. And then financially, I feel like I'm making good financial decisions. I've got a little bit of money saved, not a lot, but enough, for a few months worth of if there's an emergency or something like that. I feel like I have learned some hard lessons in the financial aspect of life, and that I'm using those lessons that I've learned to make better decisions. So anyway, so that's basically it. So PRESSIF: physical, relational, emotional, social, spiritual, intellectual, and financial. So the thing is like, say for instance, back to the jelly belly analogy. Say for instance you have all of this focus on a relationship, and then the relationship ends for whatever reason. If you don't recognize all of the wonderful things, and if you don't lift yourself up in these other ways on a routine basis to actually make good decisions and to experience these other areas of life and to have gratitude for them, and to put yourself in a position for success despite failure or sorrow, then you're going to be in trouble. So I feel that you need to recognize these things every day. So we can take it one step further. And when I was in anatomy and physiology, getting my classes for prerequisites for nursing school, one of the tests was to learn the 11 body systems. So I came up with a mnemonic: SLIMDUNCER. So even on the PRESSIF activity, if we can call it that, I may just stop at physical and I'll go through the 11 systems of the body, and I'll have an awareness of these things. So even if one has a compromise and there's sickness or illness or something like that, I still have an awareness of all of these other, like, tens of thousands of processes, millions of processes that are going on in your body just at one time. So just to have an awareness of your physical body is profound. So SLIMDUNCER is skeletal, lymphatic, integumentary, muscular, digestive, urinary, neurological, cardiovascular, endocrine, respiratory, and reproductive. So what I'll do is, and I won't do it right now, but I'll go through each of those things, and just to give you an example, so skeletal, say, from head to toe, I can move everything. I have a shoulder injury, sure, but think of all of the other components that are working. Lymphatic, I'm helping my lymphatic system just by the fact that I'm moving. I'm helping my body rid itself of poisons because I'm traversing this trail. Integumentary, my skin, I don't have any skin infections. I don't have a sunburn. There's just like so many things. The skin protects me from the external environment creates a barrier for my internal organs. Muscular, you know, I feel strong. I try and work on strength every day. I don't actually achieve it every day. Every day I can't say that I am stronger today than I was yesterday, but it is a common theme and a common goal that I have in my mind throughout the day. Digestive, I feel like I'm putting good nutritious foods into my stomach. I'm hydrating myself to allow myself to digest these foods with water, ample water throughout the day. And you could go on and on just with digestive. So anyway, so I'll go through these things. So what this does is, if you can imagine, you have an acute stress in your life, and you go through this PRESSIF happy experience, and if you go through the SLIMDUNCER railroad experience, then you've done a few things. You've given a gross, very focused attention to your life and to what's going on around you, the choices that you're making, and these are all things that are either within your control or they're not. And if they're in your control, then it gives you an awareness to maybe make a better decision, or maybe to focus on something other than the negative thing that you were focusing on, and to just have gratitude for, you know, if one big thing is going wrong in your life. You got a bad medical diagnosis, you just wrecked your car and totaled it, your relationship ended, you lost your job because they were bought out by somebody else, whatever it is. If you think about all of these other things with the PRESSIF happy, then you can't help it but realize that things are really not as bad as they seem, and that you do have other sources of joy and things to be grateful for. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of share that with you, and I hope you have a good day, and mend yourself. Thanks.